jerks. Jerks on the right.
I was getting down this morning. I was like,
I know,
you
same.
cannot speak for me.
It's Friday.
Jerks on the right. It is Friday. Let me tell you what's coming up on the show today, you guys. Dems turned the cringe level up to 11.
All the way up.
Also, Al Green, the werewolf, he was censured. And Charlie Kirk takes on Gavin Newsom. All that and so much more coming up on the show today. You guys, please click the subscribe button. What are you doing with your life if you haven't subscribed to this podcast and told all your friends? Please tell them. And then also check out all the things chicksontheright.com/links. Point of personal privilege, if I may. I'm going to be gone all next week on spring break with my kiddo, taking a trip with my girl. We're going to have a girls trip, which we've not done, I don't think, ever in her whole life of 15 years. So I'm very excited about that. A little bummed I'm going to be missing you guys, and I won't be here for Mock. She's going to be with Chad all week. So I'll be gone. But if you are an insiders or locals, Gwen and I will be posting girl content. Girls trip content for you guys. We'll make sure that we do that. I already told her, I said, Gwen, we got to do some content for the insiders and locals. And she was like, okay. And so.
Oh, yeah, I get to be an influencer.
Oh my God. It'll be totally fun, Mom. Actually, she doesn't talk like that at all. But she doesn't. But we will do that for you guys and put some content out there. And I'll miss you guys. Like, I don't think I've taken a week off. And
no, this is going to be, I'm going to struggle. I love Chad, but I will be struggling. So I'm going to need everybody here to still watch.
It's been a long time. But listen, I realized that I only have like 3 years left with her. So I've got to do this stuff, you guys. So I'll miss you, but I really need to spend some time with my girl. And then, it'll go quick and I'll be back. Okay. All right. Let's do some stuff.
Yes, we've got a lot of things and stuff to do, but we also want to remind everybody about the fact that Mother's Day, I know it seems like it's far away. It does, because it's like May 11th, I think, is the actual Mother's Day date.
It's not, though. It's gonna swirl itself at us.
This is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so if you are a person who has a mom in your life, whether it's your wife, your actual mother, whoever the moms are in your life, and you struggle with gifts, it is a no-brainer to do candles. Thankfully, we have the very best candle company to recommend. It's a venture with Daily Wire. It is called The Candle Club, and their candles are amazing. Daisy's holding up some of them right now.
Smells like special.
A dude. Does it? Is that one of the Michael Knowles ones?
It's the Cigar Lounge. Oh my God, I love this one. Yeah. Keep going. I'm sorry.
They smell absolutely phenomenal. And right now they've just released a bunch of their spring scents. And they're so pretty. I mean, that's the thing. No matter which of the lines that you choose from the Candle Club, you are going to get amazing looking. Look at this. Could this go in my house any better?
I know, right? I love that one. This one's there's one. It's salty and lit. That line, and it's all religious. This one is Amazing Grace. I love this one.
Yeah.
And it's like
packaging.
It's good.
They're just
beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous packaging. The scents are incredible. And right now, this is a limited time code that they're offering our audience to get 30% off. So if you need candles for yourself or for gifts, go to shopthecandleclub.com/chicks. And then the code that is the limited time offer code right now is Spring Chicks. Which I love.
I love that.
That's the code.
Me too.
So again, it's for a limited time. So get your shopping done now. Get your mom's gifts in order. Again, it's shopthecandleclub.com/chicks. And the code is Spring Chicks. God, I love them so much.
I do too.
And speaking of cool Mother's Day gifts, or like Easter gifts, I should say, from our very own Carrie at inreallifecreations.etsy.com.
Cute.
There's Easter stuff, you guys, Easter merch. So you can check that out.
So cute.
Now on to some headlines that are unrelated to some of our bigger stories of the day, but are still newsworthy nonetheless. this just kind of cracked me up because it was about Hunter Biden and his stupid art. Apparently, not going so great. He has asked a judge to drop his laptop lawsuit because he is millions of dollars in debt. He's kind of blaming the wildfires, although I don't think his house was even impacted directly. But he does blame his dwindling art and book sales for his financial troubles. And
hey, Hunter,
it's hilarious.
Here's the thought. Get a real freaking job like the rest of us. God, what a loser this guy is.
Such a loser. And Charles C.W. Cook had the perfect comment about it, saying, it's truly unfortunate timing for Hunter Biden that his artistic inspiration dried up at the exact moment that his father ceased to be president.
It's so true. Huh. Leave it to Charles to nail that. God, this guy, colossal loser. God.
Yeah, what a piece of work that guy is. Also, do you guys remember that horrible, horrible story from New York City? I think it was like on a subway platform where some illegal set a woman on fire. Yeah, you guys remember that? It was horrific. So thanks to New York City's dumbass policies, that guy who is in jail, he is not going, the city's connection, the criminal department has refused to honor the ICE detainer. So ICE is like, we want to deport this guy. He has no business being here. And New York City is like, no, we would rather taxpayers fund his entire time in prison. We're good. What? It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's beyond stupid. There's just no common sense here. Honestly, what are you doing, New York?
It just makes no sense. So this creep is still in our country.
Yeah, but you know what? It's never going to change until they change their leaders, until New York just gets their crap together and they change. You get the government you deserve, man.
And this is absolute proof of that.
Right.
And then you've probably heard that there's, Columbia University is being targeted again with all of these ridiculous protests, these insane people who never know how to protest according to the law. They always take things like steps beyond where they should. And so they've been not only disruptive, but intimidating to Jewish students. Absolutely awful. And enough is enough. So now Trump had promised, one of his campaign promises was, we're not putting up with this. If you are a protester who is from another country and you're literally calling for the death of Jews, we're shipping you back home. And so Marco Rubio has begun revoking visas for those that they are identifying as participating in these pro-Hamas riots. And there was already a university student charged with crime. So they mean business. And it is such a nice change from what we had with Biden.
Yeah. And they're super butthurt about it. You know how much these kids pay for these schools?
And a lot of them are, I mean, I don't even know how many of them are students. Other, because there's like Soros funded, agitators that are not even students.
Right. They're posing as students. Yeah. And they can't figure, it's been hard for them, the university, to figure out who's a student and who's not. Yeah.
Because they're all masked.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're a bunch of cowards is what they are. So it's just so cowardly. But the ones who are students, bunch of rich jerks is what they are. Honestly. I mean, it's like, oh, did your mommy give you a bunch of money to go out there and protest? Losers.
I told Daisy before in pre-show, I told her that she was going to be reading a lot today. Nice. And so now the reading is about to commence.
Okay. I'm really close.
Because Trump was tweeting about Elon. Of course, the rumors are flying. The mainstream media loves to drive a wedge between Trump and Elon, or between Elon and the rest of the cabinet, although the relationships are solid. And that is what Trump wanted to point out in this tweet that I will have you read.
Okay. We just had a meeting with most of the secretaries, Elon and others, and it was a very positive one. It's very important that we cut levels down to where they should be, but it's also important to keep the best and most productive people. We're going to have these meetings every 2 weeks until that aspect of this very necessary job is done. The relationships between everybody in that room are extraordinary. They all want to get to the exact same place, which is simply to make America great again. It's a great tweet.
Right?
Yeah.
So you go, Doge.
And again, Democrats will be like, oh, this is terrible. Dictatorship. Right. Okay, whatever. Just sit down. Stay seated.
And your reading is not over because I also want you to read this tweet from Charlie Kirk, who is reporting about a New York Times report about the Act Blue organization. This is so interesting what's going on with Act Blue right now. Here is Charlie's tweet. Go.
Oh, I'm sorry. The New York Times report that Act Blue is in turmoil. Mysteriously, 7 top executives have all left in the past 3 weeks, several of whom had all been there more than a decade. None of them will explain on the record why they left. The last remaining lawyer at Act Blue's general counsel's office has been locked out of his email and put on leave after sending internal messages that we have whistleblower policies for a reason. I know. Dun, dun, dun. 2 unions representing Act Blue employees are openly questioning the group's stability and called the situation alarming. They're demanding the hiring of an independent investigator. More than $16 billion has passed through Act Blue in the past 20 years. Wow. What could they possibly be hiding? A lot. They're hiding a lot.
Interesting.
I would venture to say they're hiding a whole lot of stuff, Charlie, is what I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's super interesting. And I couldn't be happier that there's turmoil at that rotten to the core organization.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, karma. We always wait for karma. It's starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see it.
I know by now everybody has seen the absolute cringe video that came out from the Democrat House folks yesterday. It was I think it was like right after our show, or maybe it was even during yesterday's show. And then I don't know who is guiding these clowns to do these cringy things, because they continue to do them. If you missed it for some reason, congratulations, but you're about to be subjected to it now. Here is how Democrats think they're going to be relatable in this next upcoming election. It's like this.
God.
Oh my God.
Choose your fighter. It's supposed to be Mortal Kombat is what that was. In case you missed the reference. It's super cringe, you guys. Super cringe.
It does not get cringier.
The first one was a bento box something. Is that what it said?
I don't even know.
That's when you like pack a lunch in a little bento box thing.
I'm not even like hip enough to know what you just said.
Well, I'm a mom and I, help with lunches sometimes, and you are too, but you haven't packed a lunch for quite some time.
I never did.
Yeah. That's right. You left that for Ron.
No, we just were like, go to the cafeteria. Here's your allowance.
Yeah. I think they're trying to be relatable and they're failing.
It's a big fat fail.
Also, can I just point out, did you see the room that AOC was in? Listen, I like animal prints, but it looks like she's in some sort of I don't know, a porn movie or something. What is that? Did you see? Am I the only person that noticed like how much animal print was behind her? If that's her house, damn.
Yikes.
Get a decorator.
Well, the GOP responded, and their video was about how the American people already did choose their fighters. I feel like this is a much more effective and way less cringeworthy ad.
I love it. I love it. It's so fantastic. So great? Take that. Yeah, my money's on
choose
ours.
Your fighter is right. Oh my gosh.
My money's on our fighters and not theirs.
Surprisingly, last night on Abby Phillips' show on CNN, she was even like, I don't get why you guys did that, because one of the Democrat congresswomen was on the show. I forget which one. I think her last name's Strickland. She was one of the ones that participated. And so she was defending it by saying, well, look, I mean, here's everybody talking about it. And it's been watched on wherever they originally released it, probably TikTok, like 7 million times. And so see how effective it was? And Abby was like, yeah, but like, why? Like to what end? How do you think that helped you at all?
They're talking about it because you look ridiculous.
I mean, is this really the
Mm-hmm.
way that you want everybody to talk about it? And naturally, part of that panel that was discussing it included Scott Jennings.
But I guess my question is, to what end? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I mean, maybe you will get 7 million eyeballs, but like, what is the point?
I am not accustomed to helping your party do anything.
Yep.
But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And if you read the comments today, Lord have mercy. Look, scrambling for new social media and communication strategies is not a replacement for fixing what's actually wrong. Your party has a 21% approval rating right now, congressional Democrats.
Well, let's talk about fixing what's wrong. Donald Trump is doing nothing for the American people.
And he has a 50% approval rating.
But he's doing nothing for the American people.
And so
he's not lowering the cost of living.
Advice
he tells lies.
Fix the policy and leave the gimmicks behind.
Yes, and let's follow.
God bless her, right? They're there. God bless you. He's doing nothing for, he's done more in the past 5 weeks than Joe Biden did in 4 years, but they're there, lady. You just keep spewing the talking points that they tell you to spew because you're a puppet. This is what all the puppets are saying. They're there. Yeah. Remember when they used to be good at PR? Remember when they used to be really good at social media?
Yeah, their messaging was never a problem. They were the ones that had it on lockdown, and it was always our side that was flailing.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing that I think the biggest topic that we talked about with Don Lemon on his show in 2014. You and I talked about how we were always on the defense, never the offense when it came to communications. We sucked at it, and now we're like the masters of it. And they suck. And it's like so weird to see the reversal of all this. And I am so happy. It's such a great time to be alive. It really is.
It is indeed.
I've waited for this for 16 years. We've waited for this. And it's wonderful. We deserve it.
We really do. And you know what else we deserve? We deserve really good eye cream. And we've got it, you guys. I swear to God, you tee all these up for me. That's how this is how it works.
At this, you guys. So good.
I could not do it without your tee ups. I could not. So here's what I'm talking about right here.
We deserve it.
This is OneSkin. It's their OS1 eye cream. And I have not ever even really been a huge eye cream user, but I will tell you because I know you are. This stuff, there's something like so rich about it, like compared to other eye creams that I've used. And I've used some enough to know that there's certain ones that are effective and certain ones that are not. And this one actually makes me want to use it because of how good it feels after I apply it. So I don't have a horrible eye like wrinkle problem. I think probably, I mean, I've got way worse wrinkles on my forehead, right? But like my eyes are okay. But this stuff makes them feel so like moisturized. Like refreshed and just soothed in some way. This stuff is amazing. Again, here's what it looks like. It is from our friends at OneSkin. This is a company that was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists and PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. And they found this OS1 peptide. This is the first ingredient that's really been proven to youthfulize, for lack of a better word, your skin. And so the eye treatment, absolutely incredible. You can improve the look of your eye area with OneSkin's OS1 peptide, and you can get 15% off right now at oneskin.co, not com, okay? oneskin.co when you use code CHICKS. It's oneskin.co.
I have a shout out, a quick shout out. Jared Troy says, someone from Veteran Bikers channel mentioned you girls, so here I am. Hey Jared.
Hi.
And hey to the Veteran Bikers. You know, hey.
Hi.
We like Veteran Bikers. All right.
Yeah, gotta love it. Got to love it. Okay, I know this. I'm surprising Daisy. She doesn't know that I'm doing this, but I asked her in advance if she minded when I asked her to read long things, and she told me this morning that she doesn't.
I don't.
So she is about to read something that I've already read, but she has not seen it because I wanted to surprise her because this is the most amazing story I have ever read ever. Sometimes, well, a lot of times, you guys in our audience send us really sweet messages about the impact that we've had on you from a community perspective, from a friend perspective.
Am I going to cry?
You might cry. Never have I ever gotten a message like this where we have been credited with saving someone's life.
Oh my God, I'm probably going to cry. This
is amazing. This is an email that we got from somebody yesterday who is allowing us to share her first name. You'll see it at the end of the email, but not her last, which is fine. But I was stunned to read this. This is God working. That's all I can tell you. This is God working. Please read this.
This past Monday, I was suffering from a nasty migraine. I get those too. I get them a lot, but this one was off the charts and I was losing vision in my right eye. At one point, I was like having sudden breathing issues and apparently passed out. I live alone, but with my sweet little Yorkie, Cooper. I came to with him all over me, freaking out. My vision was still not back. And when I tried to get up, I thought my head was going to blow up. I was trying to talk to my dog, but my words were not really words at all. I started totally panicking because my phone was in a different room. All I could do was just lay there. Fast forward to a few hours later, and I was able to crawl to get to my phone. My condition had not improved, and I still couldn't speak. I couldn't even see what I was clicking on my phone. Note that I have followed your channel, etc., since the middle of 2023, and I watch your daily shows. For whatever reason, my phone was on YouTube. Got there somehow when trying to look at my contacts to call my doctor. I just laid back down for several minutes and had yet another instance of my head feeling like it was going to explode. I kept thinking that this is a crazy migraine and I'm just going to have to wait it out. I have been there. I have totally been there.
Okay, here's more.
And then I looked at my phone quick and it was still on YouTube. And by some miracle, there was a video recommendation from a video you did back in 2022. That never happens. Although I couldn't see it very well, I let it play and just listened to it, hoping to focus on something other than the pain. About 5 minutes in, I could hear Mock saying that she was having a stroke, and then it ended quickly after that. I sort of freaked out for you both and just had to try to watch the last minute of it to make sure all was okay. So I watched in horror. Then it clicked with me like a thunderbolt. I got to a mirror and saw that my face was totally sagging on the right. Oh my God. I still couldn't speak, but I dialed 911 and just stayed on the line. Luckily, paramedics came in and to try to wrap this up here. Tests showed that I was having and had a few strokes. They actually couldn't believe I managed, and my situation was dire at that point. I spent a few days in the hospital, mostly because I live alone. Things are slowly getting better, but I have no family, etc., and I'm terrified. Anyway, the literal fact that you ladies left that video up saved my life, along with the fact that God used it on that very day, is nothing short of a miracle. It all seemed like a crazy coincidence, but I really don't think it was. Simply just a gift. And miracle. Thank you, Mock, for your courage to leave that video out there. I wish I could talk to you more about your experience, but I am sure probably don't want to rehash it. Daisy, you were such a great friend to Mock and all of it. I absolutely have loved you gals ever since I found you. I am 48. And if I could have two older sisters, I would want them to be the two of you. This is just on a level of miraculous that I cannot explain. I truly love you both, just as friends. Well, thank you. And I am sending virtual hugs your way. May God bless you both, Jennifer. God, that is a story. Oh my God.
Even.
Yeah, that is God. That's God.
I mean, wow. And the whole reason that we decided to leave it up was for that precise purpose, that if it ever helped somebody recognize symptoms that they were having, that was reason enough to keep it up.
You'll have no idea how many people, like even the day that it happened, so many people came at me. And they were like, why are you keeping that up? It's terrible to let your friend be seen like that. What are you doing? I mean, I had people that were my friends and that people are people that we had worked with before coming at me. I can't believe you're doing that. And I was just like, I don't, because Mock wanted to keep it up. And there was a reason for that. And thank God that you did. Thank God you did.
And thank God Jennifer is okay. And just,
Yes.
I could not believe that story. And I was like, we got to share this because that's just amazing, right? Like, that's amazing.
It is. God is good all the time.
I can't get
right?
over it. Yeah, cannot get over it. All right. Moving on, because we do obviously have news to talk about. I knew you would.
That was a good one to read, even though I'm blind. It's a good one to read.
I knew you would love it. Okay, so still some reaction, obviously, still reaction from the State of the Union the other night, and the fact that Werewolf, as you like to call Al Green, was so out of line, had to be escorted out of the chambers during the speech because he was so disruptive. And then yesterday, there was this move to censure him, which did end up happening. So before we get to what happened when the censure vote took place, we just wanted to share with you what John Fetterman said, which was really, really amazing coming from John Fetterman. He said, it was a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance. It only makes Trump look more presidential and restrained. We're becoming the metaphorical car alarms that nobody pays attention to, and it may not be the winning message.
That last
about
sentence.
Right?
Yeah.
There are some Democrats who are feeling the pain of their silent treatment during Trump's, Trump announcing all of these positive stories about like DJ Daniel and Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungaray, and like no one clapping or standing or honoring those people made Democrats look so bad, bad.
Yeah, well, I think it's not even that they look bad. It's nailing in the coffin who they are.
Yeah,
that's who they really are. I mean, it's like Elizabeth Warren. It's Pocahontas. The only thing that she did clap for is when he said, we're going to support Ukraine, or when there's any sort of semblance of support. That's all she cares about. She doesn't give one single shit about the American people. She doesn't care about anybody in this country. She doesn't care about kids with cancer. She doesn't care about women. She doesn't care about the safety of the American people. She doesn't care. And that's who these people are. And I hope that everybody's paying attention now after this week.
Yeah. And maybe more Democrats will learn. I mean, Ro Khanna is another one of the more reasonable Democrats who actually posted on his X account yesterday what happened to him at the airport. He said, Jim Barrett, a flight attendant, politely chased me down at Chicago airport. Sir, he said, I'm a Democrat, but the way the party behaved was embarrassing, made us look heartless. I don't care who is up there. You stand for the boy with cancer. Be more rational and get your act together.
He's right.
And Rose said, I replied that a few of us did stand and clap, and that we must be the party that still believes in kindness, decency, and trying to bring people together.
You're not that party anymore, Ro.
Nope.
You're not.
Not even.
I mean, it's nice that you think that you are, but you're not. And if anybody did stand up and clap, I didn't see him. You were drowned out by the heartless jerks in your party.
That's right. And then that guy that we're starting to see a lot more of, I think his last name is Cesar. I'm not sure, but he was caught up with on the way to the vote to censure Al Green. And here is what he said about his plans to vote in that censure vote.
Excuse me, Congressman, can I get your general comments on the vote to censure Representative Al Green?
I'm opposing the vote to censure Representative Al Green. He's just exhibiting his First Amendment right to tell the truth.
This is what I keep hearing. It's just a right to free speech. I thought Trump cared about free speech. Seriously?
Yeah. They've come a long way from clutching their pearls over that. What was it, Joe Wilson? Is it Joe Wilson that stood up and said,
that's right.
You lie to Obama? And they're like, the horror. When it actually was a lie. I mean, it turned out what he said was a lie, but still, it doesn't matter because listen, if a Republican says something, it's terrible. If a Democrat gets up and starts shaking his rake, oh my God, it's okay. It's just First Amendment. It's free speech, you guys. It's just because
it's perfect that they don't understand the line. You know what I mean? It's perfect because it's just like the protesters at Columbia. Right. They don't understand that their right is to peacefully protest, of course, but that's not what they're doing. They're intimidating, they're disrupting, they're destructive, and they're preventing others from being able to engage in free speech. That's not what the First Amendment is about. And the censure vote ended up showing that. Thankfully, there were 10 Democrats that voted with Republicans to censure Al Green. And here's what happened after the vote was called.
The yeas are 224. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present. The resolution is adopted. By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
We shall overcome. Okay. All right. You know what this is? You know what when I see that, it's like we're now looking at the theater and the emo kids versus the jocks and the nerds in high school. And you guys know how that's going to end. It's not going to end well for the theater and the emo kids. So, and that's what it is. Like, they're like, hey, let's sing. Let's get up and okay.
What is that? What is with all the singing?
Why
do they think this is effective?
Theater kids.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're curious about who the Democrats were that voted to censure Al Green, I've heard of maybe one of them. So they included Ami Bera, Jim Costa, Ed Case, Laura Gillen, Tom Suozzi, Jim Himes, Chrissy Houlihan, Marcy Kaptur, Jared Moskowitz. That's the only one I've heard of before.
Me too.
And
Me too.
Marie Glusenkamp Perez. So those are the ones that voted to censure. And I mean, I guess, you know, like, good for them. Yeah. Good job doing the basic, obvious thing.
Right.
I have no way of segueing into dogs from that, but
We should have one of my dogs in here. I can't believe they're not in here.
well, maybe they're just having a nice nap. I don't
They're
know,
having
maybe
a
they're gonna come
snooze.
in
They're
later.
snoozing it up right now. Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I know your dog loves, and so does my dog, and that is Ruff Greens, the premium nutritional supplement that was the master work, the craftsman doctor, naturopathic doctor, Dennis Black. He is the guy that created this amazing supplement that dogs love. It's a green powder. It's a green health powder for dogs that you just sprinkle onto their dry kibble, and their dry kibble that just looks like dead, gross, brown, dry kibble, which does not look appetizing. But then when you sprinkle on the prescribed amount for your size dog of Ruff Greens, all of a sudden your dogs die for it. Like, they are so excited for it. And the things that it does to transform your dog's health are incredible. Right now, there's like this 90-day challenge that Dr. Black is having everybody participate in so that you can see what happens at day 30, what happens at day 60, what happens at day 90. And all the things that you notice are things that are kind of like superficial or on the surface level changes, like better breath, better coats, less shedding, more energy. But then there's also really good health benefits, like they have better mobility. You're helping prevent cancers. You're doing all kinds of things for your dog's health that helps them live their longest possible life. And of course, we all want that. And you can try it for free. This is a trial size bag. You can get this free Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover shipping by going to Ruff Chicks, RUFF Chicks.com, and then of course using code chicks. So it's ruffchicks.com, code chicks at ruffchicks.com. Try it. Okay, so we talked about the 10 Democrats who voted to censure. Obviously, there was somebody else talking about this vote, and that was none other than Scott Jennings.
I feel like over the last few weeks, there's been numerous instances of Democrats breaking out into song, and all I've been able to discern is that when Democrats are singing, Republicans are winning. I mean, it was a bipartisan resolution that passed today. Some people in your party voted to censure Representative Green. You said something earlier that really piqued my interest, which was you said the Democrats should not be listening to John Fetterman. I think he's maybe your most authentic voice. Who's a better representative, Green or Fetterman for the Democratic Party?
That's a good point. Like, who should the Democrat Party really be aligning with?
Yeah, I don't think
you compare those two.
They don't know. They totally don't know. They are rudderless right now.
They're lost. I love it.
Lost at sea. No idea.
And
yeah, I'm there
no
for it too.
leader, like no, specific person who's leading. Hakeem Jeffries should ostensibly be the leader, but he is equally lost. And his strategy, he was asked about Democrat strategy moving forward. His answer was so ridiculous. Listen.
To show your base that you guys have an effective strategy to counter President Trump.
We're going to continue to stop him in the Congress, stop him in the courts, stop him in the community, put it in the voters' hands next year, and take back control of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, all right, you do that.
Good luck.
Let me ask David Hogg how he feels about that. Okay.
You do that, Hakeem.
Oh my God, right? I mean, they're just so lost. And then, we already showed you the Cringe video that everybody was talking about yesterday, but there was also this other one, and I don't know who the reporter, or for lack of a better word is, the one with the microphone, going around and asking all these Democrats, who does Trump report to? Or who is Trump's boss? Like, who is he working for? And their answers are so stupid, you guys. Here they are.
Thank you.
Follow the money with Donald Trump and you'll find out who he works for.
Who does Donald Trump work for?
Shit, obviously Elon and them. He ain't working for us. That's all.
Donald Trump works for himself, the billionaires, the corporations, and Elon Musk.
Billionaires.
Not for the American people.
Who do you work for? Trump ain't working for my mother. He's not working for yours either.
Who does Donald Trump work for?
Billionaires. His co-president, Elon Musk, he's just kind of going along with whatever Elon wants.
Elon Musk and the billionaires.
Not the people.
Is promising to deliver big on tax cuts for billionaires paid for on the backs of hardworking Americans.
And who do you work for?
I work for the American people.
I work for the people.
I work for you.
I work for the people of New York State, and particularly Brooklyn.
The people of this country. The people. The people. Shame on you, Donald Trump.
How's Brooklyn doing these days? Brooklyn doing okay? Not really. I'd love it when Nancy Pelosi is like, follow the money.
Right?
That's rich, isn't it? And so is she, off the backs of the American taxpayer. What a hag.
Oh my God.
Keep chewing that cud, Nancy.
Well, and when you think about what Hakeem said, a clip ago, where he was just like, we're just gonna, stop him in the courts, stop him in Congress, stop, resist, obstruct. That's all they know how to do. And yet, if they would just listen to to the American public, they would realize how misguided that is, because as the nerdy guy from CNN points out, people want what Trump is delivering.
Me was one of the more shocking figures that I saw. Made me go, wait a minute, hold on one second. Whoa, Americans on Trump and Joe's efforts. Musk and Doge should influence government spending and operations. Look at this. 54%. The majority say that he and they should. How about approve of Trump trying to cut staff at government agencies? Again, you get a majority here. 51%. So yeah, Elon Musk might not be that popular, but these cuts and the idea of spending cuts, at least within the federal government and cutting at government agencies, that actually has majority support. I was truly surprised by this, Kate, but the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah, and with that, if they were listening to the American people, they would be like, okay, maybe we don't like Trump, maybe we don't like Elon, but here are some proposals for how we can cut spending,
right?
And how we can do this instead of resisting everything, instead of like constantly obstructing. The reason they're obstructing is because they don't want us looking at what they're doing, and they are stealing from the American people. That's why. Anybody with half of a brain cell can see what the hell these people are doing. That's why they're so freaked out. That's why Pocahontas is so freaked out. That's why Nancy Pelosi, that's why they're all of them are freaked out.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be looked at with a microscope, because they're a bunch of crooks.
It's just, it is not this strategy, whatever it is that they're doing. Nothing about it makes any sense. And and I love it. I love watching them absolutely drown themselves.
Yep.
It's so glorious to watch. There's a fellow that we love here on the Chicks on the Right show that always has a special way with words when it comes to issues. And that person is Senator Kennedy. And of course, we have a brand new Senator Kennedy-ism or two for you. Here it is.
Most of the publicity has been on the spending cuts. And look, I'm all for them. I think Elon Musk is a rock star. The tofu crowd is mad, but when you trim fat, pigs squeal. That's just the way the world works. That's the law of nature. How did we get this inflation and these high prices? Government overspent.
Yep.
How are we going to get out of it? We're going to have to spend less money. The strength of the U.S. dollar matters. The U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency. Actually, that's probably not true. I think the real reserve currency in the world is a Taylor Swift concert ticket. But the U.S. dollar is number 2.
I love him. He does away with the words. Speaking of concert tickets, I saw a thing yesterday. I think it was on Fox where kids are going into debt to go see concerts.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like kids.
How are their
20s.
parents allowing that?
Well, they probably don't know. They're probably putting it on credit cards, but they're going into debt to go. I mean, what a difference in the generations.
Wow.
I mean,
God.
I'll say some of it has to do with the fact that they're so stupid expensive. Like we could go to a concert for $50, right? But I mean, I'm sorry. And on top of that, there's nobody right now that I would pay money to go see. It all sucks,
I would still pay to see Robbie Williams.
I'm sorry. It's as evidenced by my Jimi Hendrix shirt. You know what I mean? I just who wants to pay that money to go see Taylor Swift? She sucks.
There's somebody you would see. Surely there's somebody you would see.
Don't call me Shirley. And no, I don't.
I would still see Teddy Swims again. That was a great show.
Would you pay like $1,000 to go see him though?
No, I would not pay $1,000.
I mean, they're way overpriced. And I can't, I honestly cannot think of anybody that I've seen the Foo Fighters probably 8 times. But when I saw them, they were affordable. I think at the very most for a ticket, I paid $90 or $100. But
I mean, that's the fart of that fart. Sorry.
Fart.
That is the fault of the reseller market, right? That they're the ones who drive up the prices like crazy.
Right. But like it's kind of nuts. They're all nuts.
It
now.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Related to Democrats' terrible strategizing, they clearly, I mean, the lessons that they haven't learned, there's just so many. And one of them is that this whole idea that everything is racist, they should know by now what a losing strategy that is, but they don't. And in fact, they're tripling down on it in ways that I cannot believe. This guy, I don't know his name and I didn't bother looking it up because he's just some MSNBC talking head and it's not worth the time knowing who he is. But he is trying to suggest that the things that Trump is doing is racist towards the government that used to be run by Obama. That's his logic. And if you don't believe me, just listen.
Charged with trying to find savings. So yes, it's an attack on government, but it's also an attack on this government. What I mean by that is it's an attack on this government that used to be headed by a black man. It's an attack on this government that almost elected a black woman to the highest office in the land. It's an attack on a government that has been more welcoming and more supportive of people who have come to this country in search for a better life.
I cannot comprehend how dumb that is.
It's a stretch. First of all, they need to get a new shtick. The race card is played. Second of all, why are all these commies Catholic? Why?
I don't know.
Somebody's gonna have to explain that to me. And then it's also bothersome to me how they, over the past however many years since Obama became president, they have redefined who he actually is. He is not a black man. He is a biracial man. He is biracial. I said that on our radio show back in the day. And there was a woman who in the break berated me for saying that, for daring to say that. Oh my God, you can't say he's biracial. He's biracial. He's half white and half black. He was raised by a white woman and his dad bolted. And so this is the thing. He had such a wonderful opportunity to unite the country because he was all of us, right?
Right.
He was black and he was white. And I actually thought, I didn't vote for the guy, but I thought, okay, there's some hope here because race relations are pretty great in this country and he can make it even better. He didn't do that. What he did
the opposite.
He did the exact opposite because he's like, I'm Black and I have a chip on my shoulder and I'm going to make things worse, which is precisely what he did. And his wife was awful. And that is what they did. And he race baited the country. What a disgrace, because he had such an incredible opportunity to do the opposite because he is Black and white. What a waste, man. What a waste. The race card is played. I mean, people are sick of this crap.
They are, but they're not done. They're not done playing that card. It's like that's all the cards that they have. They're just all that card. You know what I mean? They have no other card. And so Jasmine Crockett and Hank Johnson, who you may know from such things as believing that Guam was going to tip over. Remember that?
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, he's still around. He continues to get reelected.
Wow.
Jasmine and Hank are both suggesting that the immigration policies that Trump favors, which is to say he doesn't want illegals flooding into the country, and they say that whenever Trump says, or whenever there's talk about jobs being eliminated, their fear is that it's Black jobs because they say Trump wants Black people back in the fields. This is what they're saying. That Trump wants to get rid of illegals who work in the fields so that he can replace them with Black people so that we can return to the days of...
Oh my...
This is what they actually say.
I swear, these people are out of their mind.
They're out of their mind. It. Can't stop, won't stop, though. We're gonna hear from Jasmine herself and Hank. We're gonna let them run together, and then I promise we'll be done with those two because damn.
Decided to go after immigrants and these and things like that, and they've said, "Oh, they taking your Black jobs. They taking your Black jobs." Not really. They are obviously jobs that they want us to go back to, such as work in the fields. All right, those immigrants that come into our country, they work the fields, something that we ain't done in a long time. And clearly, he is trying to make us go back to the fields.
Is it
so
clear?
A recipe to make education unavailable to Black people. And where does that then leave us? It puts us back to when America was great and we were picking cotton and all of it. We're doing the productivity that they are putting my Latino brothers and sisters who migrate here to do that work because we are not suited intellectually to do it anymore. And but they would have us back confined to doing that kind of work. So we got to watch out for where we are headed.
Wait,
They're
so
not
let me get
suited?
Yeah, let me get this straight. So he race baited and then he also dissed Hispanics by saying we're intellectually superior to Hispanics they're suited to work in the fields.
Right.
We're not because we're
that.
Intellectually superior to Hispanics. So not only is he race baiting and fear mongering and saying this is what Trump's wanting us to do, which he's not. So he's lying. He's race baiting and then he's disparaging Hispanics. Way to go, dude. Way to just do a trifecta of suck there. Oh my God.
It's always projection. Always projection.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing, right?
It is. It's remarkable. Democrats, you guys. Democrats.
They're just incredible. They like endless source of entertainment. And so too is Donald Trump, who signed some more executive orders yesterday. He signed like a strategic reserve Bitcoin fund, which was big news. He signed an executive order that made March the Women's History Month. He was very, very busy yesterday, and he also took questions. And one of the questions came from Peter Doocy, who was saying, "Hey, you're the second dude that tried to assassinate you, that Routh guy or whatever, the golf course guy,
right?"
Are you ever going to find out? Are we ever going to find out any more details about him? Because that guy's supposed to appear in court today. And so Trump obviously has questions. So does the rest of America. And here's what he said about us learning the truth about those assassination attempts.
It's been 7 months. Why do you think we don't know more about the guy who shot you in the ear?
Yeah. Oh, well, and the second one with all of his cell phones. So
right.
I want to find the answers. I've told them. In fact, today I said, I want to fight. We can no longer blame Biden for that one. He should have released that a long time ago. So they are giving me a report next week sometime, and I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report.
So
can you imagine? Can you imagine being him and that information not being put out there by the previous president? I mean, that because you'd think that Biden would have. I know that he's such a schmuck. He's just a figurehead. I know. I get it. He was so inept. But you think that the president of the United States, when a former president had 2 assassination attempts on him, you think that the present president would be like, we want to make sure we get to the bottom of this.
Right.
And he didn't do it. And that is so telling to me.
Yep.
With my tinfoil hat and all the accessories I have on it.
The antennas.
I know all the things on it. It's very bedazzled. It's like, I'm like, something's really sketch here.
Yeah. It's super sketch.
I
I hope we
would
find
wanna
out.
know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And he was he got a lot of questions yesterday. And of course, he's always willing to answer all of them. One of the other questions was, are we getting closer to this Ukrainian deal, which it sounds like we are. But then he said something about Russia that caught everyone's attention and no one really knows what to make of it. Here's what he said.
Well, I think what's going to happen is Ukraine wants to make a deal because I don't think they have a choice. I also think that Russia wants to make a deal because in a different way that only I know, they have no choice either.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You never know with him.
I mean, that's super interesting.
It is very interesting. I guess we'll find out. I can't even pontificate that,
Yeah, there's we got nothing.
Right.
we'll have in the dark as everybody else.
It'll probably resolve itself next week and I'll be gone. God, that'll piss me off.
Hopefully it's hopefully it is a slower news week because man, it has been go.
Yeah, I really hope it's slow next week and I'm gonna miss it. And then I'll come back and everything will be like boom. And I'll be here for all the good stuff. Yeah.
Also, Trump was asked about an issue that is near and dear to our hearts, and unfortunately, he did not answer the way that I wanted him to, and it all had to do with daylight saving time.
House are going to spring forward on Sunday. When are you going to get rid of daylight savings?
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, this should be the easiest one of all, but it's a 50-50 issue. And if something's a 50-50 issue, it's hard to get excited about it. I assume people would like to have more light later, but some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark. And it's a little bit one way, but it's very much a 50-50 issue. And it's something I can do, but a lot of people like it one way, a lot of people like it the other way. It's very even. And usually I find when that's the case, what else do we have to do?
I love though that he's considering everybody. I do love that. It's very indicative of him. It's kind of like when we heard Carolyn Levitt talk about how he gets people in a room and he's like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think? He's considering the American people. He gives a crap what you think, you guys. I love that. I find that very endearing. He's like, okay, well, some people have to take their kids to school in the morning. They don't want it to be dark. I love that about him. He gives a crap.
I mean, okay, but is he right? I wish there was some way. There should be an election day for daylight saving time.
I hear you.
There should be a national vote on this, and then literally whichever way wins, that's what should have been. Happen.
It should have been in November. They should have put it on the ballot.
Yes,
they should have been able to vote on it, and they didn't do that because they're freaking idiots. But they should have. That's the stuff. There's so much stuff on the ballot. I'm like, what even is this? I don't care. Let us vote on daylight savings time because that I care about. Yeah. But I just don't like the time change. It's not even.
Yeah. I just don't want to change. Whatever. Just pick one and let's be done with it.
Right.
Already.
I'm right there with you. I just don't want I don't like springing forward and falling back. I don't just pick a freaking time and let's just stay with it forevermore. Amen.
Yes, that's all. I think if that were a choice, because people will fight about whether we all stay on daylight saving time or whether we stay on standard time. There might be discussion about that, but I don't care. If the people, I would prefer to have more light in the evening. But if we went the other way, that's okay as long as
deal
we
with it.
Stay,
Right. Yeah, I don't like dealing with all the change because it takes you a week and a half to adjust. Just pick one.
And then
Just
your
pick.
animals are all screwed up. Like it's such a bother.
They're waking
Such
you
a
up in the
bother.
morning. It's like, it's time to eat. Come on, mom. Yeah, can we just not?
Also, let's have a contrast in leadership if we could, because we had Donald Trump answering questions. Then there's Justin Trudeau, who I've decided one of the many things that bothers me about him, and there are many. The list is long. He breathes too much.
He is, he would be that guy that if you were with him for long periods of time, you'd want to punch in the face. Not that we condone violence on the show.
We would never do that.
Never do that. We would never do it. But you would be like, you are breathing too much.
Right? And I know that sounds like it's a weird, but he really just over breathes, and it's very off-putting. And so he was asked about a phone call that he recently had with Donald Trump about the whole tariff issue, right? Because we're in the middle of this trade thing with Canada. And it was apparently they had a very colorful call. So he was asked about that, and he just breathed through this answer in a way that was just so annoying. Here's part of it.
Hear more about that phone call with the president yesterday. I wonder if you can describe the tone, the tenor, the scope. I understand some profanity emerged in that call. Maybe you can explain the context in which that happened. Can you give us some color on that phone?
I can confirm that it was a colorful call. And it was also a very substantive call.
Did you cry?
We talked about a range of issues. Of course, primarily the trade war that they have chosen to unjustly launch on Canada. But there is also a recognition that our two countries are deeply interwoven, not just in our economy, but in our people-to-people ties and our history. And we should be able to continue to do big things together as we have over many years in the past, first and foremost by negotiating and signing an extraordinarily successful USMCA CUSMA deal. But that there's more to do, and we committed to continue to work together constructively.
He's so doughy.
Oh, God.
And mushy. Somebody said, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name. Somebody said that when you are in menopause, you tend to hear the breathing more, and it affects you in a different way. You want to punch people for breathing. Also chewing. Chewing is the same
chewing
way.
is a big one.
When I love my husband dearly. I truly feel like he's my soulmate, but sometimes when he chews, you need to do that in the other room.
Why is it so different? Like when your dog chews, it's the cutest thing on the planet.
Oh, right. It's like, oh, look, oh, it's so sweet. And then when your husband does it, you're like, you're going to have to go to a different state to do that. Okay. Because I can't right now. Right.
It's so true.
It's menopause, you guys. It's menopause. That's what
okay, well that makes some sense. I didn't realize that my hearing would get so much more attuned to that sort of thing.
All you young ladies out there, just get ready.
Justin just breathes too much. And then you add to that he also cries a lot. And then it's just like breathing and crying. And it looks like this.
On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why
you're crying.
I'm here to tell you all, we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future.
Somebody said he's in menopause.
It's so accurate. If a man looks at you and says, I got you, and he's crying, do you really feel like he has you? Because I don't.
Do you feel God? Because I don't feel God.
I don't feel God. I don't feel God at all. If a dude is crying, what a total manlet that guy is. There's so much soy. Like that's what it's so much soy. It's just oozing out of his pores.
Yeah.
Somebody give him a tampon. He needs a tampon.
Well, and the United States equivalent of that manlet, of course, is Gavin Newsom, who, we mentioned earlier in the week or last week, maybe, that he was starting this new podcast, and the first episode is out. His first guest was Charlie Kirk. And I got to say, I mean, as much as I'm annoyed that he's doing this podcast, this is good strategy on his part. It is allowing him to show that he wants, I mean, he doesn't really want to, but for political purposes, he wants to move to the center to get himself, geared up for a presidential run.
I disagree.
Oh my God, I think he should be absolutely feared. I think people will fall for his bullshit. I really do.
He is such a con artist. He stands for nothing.
But he's so good at being effectively communicative about all of the things.
Just to people that are stupid. To people that are stupid.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
He is literally Ted Bundy, you guys.
Yeah,
I
he
cannot
really
with
is.
this guy. He's just so gross. You guys, every woman who's been through some stuff has dated a guy like this. If you know what I'm talking about, women that have been through some stuff, you know what I'm talking about? You've dated this guy. He is such a smarmy, lying sack of crap. He's so gross.
He's the worst.
He gives me the shivers. So gross.
And he started it off by just really schmoozing it up with Charlie Kirk, and saying even that his 13-year-old son is a huge fan of Charlie Kirk's, and so they kicked it off with a little bit of light banter. Here's that part.
Flirting with them.
Just opened us up.
What is that? What is it?
That's when he's like really making a point. He does that.
He does it all the time. He is flirting with him.
It's gross.
He's literally flirting with them. We have not figured anything out. We are just the party of common sense. We're just normal. We're normal. There's nothing to figure out. He is the party of batshittery. That's what they are. And then we're normal people that live in the normal world. I am convinced this guy lies to his own mother.
Oh, he lies. I mean, that's all he does is lie.
Lies. He cons like people in his own family. He's just, he gives me the willies.
Oh my God. He's the creepiest among creepy. And he's actually getting a ton of backlash over this next point that he agreed with Charlie Kirk on, which was trans women in sports. And this was a moment that now all kinds of local California and state officials in California are really disappointed in Gavin Newsom about. But it's interesting because it's another he's acting as though he's moving to the center on this. Like he'll put no action behind it, obviously. But here is that tiny little moment that they talked about men in women's sport.
Well, then do something about it, you slime ball.
I mean,
I cannot. He's just he's the slimiest slime in Slime Town. And if you actually believe that, then do something about it.
That's just it, right? He'll stop short of actually taking action on it. Yeah,
because politics. He is a political animal. He stands for nothing. All he wants to do, he will just shapeshift in order to keep power. That's who he is. He is the most disgusting kind of human that there is. And I hope everybody sees it. It's just
he's so awful.
He's the most awful. He's a snake.
Yeah.
God,
and it was almost like he was picking Charlie's brain to give him and the rest of the party pointers on how to do better. And like, I think there were moments where Charlie was actually explaining to him, here's what you guys are doing wrong. And then other moments where he was like, I'm not helping you. You know what I mean? So it was just it was a really interesting conversation. And they talked about this recent idea of James Carville's, because James Carville is convinced that Trump is just going to sink himself, that like everything is falling apart. If they just wait it out 60 to 90 days, Democrats don't even have to do anything because Trump is tanking his own presidency. This was the theory.
He also thought Kamala was going to win, but okay.
Right. And so they talked about James Carville and that theory. And here's a little bit of that.
Yeah. Or maybe don't do a podcast and run your damn state. There's a thought. You're not Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is Charlie Kirk. He's in media. That's what he does. He's not a governor. That's what you're doing wrong. Can you not see? And that's the thing. He can't see that. The biggest thing that you're doing wrong is you're not doing your effing job. You're playing media guy because you want to be popular, and they'll never see it.
No, he won't, because he doesn't care about governing. He cares about becoming president.
Right.
So that's his entire focus, is how can I get visibility to become president?
If he becomes president, he won't care about becoming president. He just wants to be popular. He just wants the power. He just wants to win, just like all those other schmucks did on his side. Trump is actually running the country like a CEO. That's why we're winning right now, because he's doing the job that we hired him to do. They don't understand that. They don't get it, and they never will, and I'm okay with it.
There was a moment, too, where Charlie called him out for, remember that whole thing when President Xi came to San Francisco, and they completely cleaned everything.
Right.
Looks spotless in San Francisco, but they couldn't do it like just for the people that live there.
Right.
And Charlie called him out on that. And that was a
He
pretty good moment.
also harmonized with the strat time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point.
He's no match for Charlie Kirk. It was a lot of people are pissed off that Charlie Kirk did this interview. I'm not pissed off about it. I think it's great that he did it. He basically he went in there, and that's what Charlie Kirk does. Charlie Kirk talks to liberals all the time. That's literally his job. Besides what he does, like on his show, he goes out to college campuses and he challenges moron liberals and he smacks them down verbally. This is what he does, So it didn't surprise me at all that he wanted to do this. And he made Gavin look like a complete idiot, at least to me, because he can't dispute what he just asked him. He can't dispute the fact that he did clean it up for the freaking commies and not for the people who he's supposed to be serving. So everybody should see that for what it is. It just exposes Gavin more and more for the shapeshifter that he is.
But I think people are mad because on some level, it did make Gavin, it gave Gavin an opportunity to moderate, to center himself a little bit more in the center, and to look at me. I can talk to anybody and we can have this like super civil conversation. And I'm so great at hosting and all the things. You know what I mean? I think that's why people are irritated. So I see both sides, I guess.
All I gotta do is look at his state. I have kids,
exactly.
I got kids that live there right now, and they cannot wait to get the F out of there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a total mess.
It's a
there was another just interesting moment, which I didn't know this about Charlie Kirk, and that is that he does not drink. And Gavin asked him about it, and it was just kind of a funny little moment in the
Well, he sounds so surprised by that. I'm honest, and I think Charlie's generation and the generation behind him, a lot of them they have no interest in that. They have no interest in drinking. I think like my daughter's generation, no interest in alcohol.
Yeah, my son has never taken a sip, even though I've encouraged him to just try it, just so it's not like this mysterious thing, this rebellious thing to do. He's like, nope, I'm never drinking a drop of it.
My daughter's the same way. She's like, my body's a temple. I'm an athlete. I'm not going to touch the stuff. That's how I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's fine. Totally fine.
Yep.
So Tucker, I don't know when this clip is from. This could be actually rather old, but Tucker was talking at some point in an interview about how much of a psychopath Gavin Newsom is. And this is, to me, it kind of makes the point that I was trying to make earlier, which is we as a party should be very worried about how psychotic he is, because he is like Ted Bundy. He is able to convince very vulnerable people that he's like this unbelievably charismatic, super brilliant guy because of how sleazy he is. And Tucker said it so much better than I am right now. So here's Tucker.
Gavin Newsom. But one thing I know for a fact about Gavin Newsom is he has the capacity to beat a lie detector test. Gavin Newsom will say anything he needs to say. And not like Biden's not like this, actually. Whatever Biden's fault, he's not like this. Like Biden, he has like guilt. If he's lying to you, he gets twitchy. Gavin Newsom's palms don't sweat, his respiration doesn't increase, his body temperature doesn't change. Nothing changes in Gavin Newsom when he lies to your face.
Right.
And there are not that many people like that, actually. That's a rare quality.
He's a sociopath.
Like to lock down the state, to keep people's kids from getting an education, and to arrest people for surfing, and then go have dinner at the French Laundry. Like most people couldn't do that. They'd just be like,
You're saying he's a sociopath. You can lie and not care.
Yeah, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't really know the category, and I'm not going to diagnose him, but I'll just say in 50 years of being around a lot of people, I've met very few who can behave that way. Very, very few. It's a very unusual quality, and of course, it's probably useful in politics.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is the guy that you warn your daughter against. Like you say, stay away, stay far away from that kind of guy. Stay far, far away.
Oh my God. There was, as I said, a lot of backlash against particularly the comments that Gavin Newsom made about trans women in sports. A lot of people in his own party who, of course, that's a pet issue on, even though it's a hill that is really stupid to die on because it's an 80-20 issue. They want to be the 20%, whatever. Hakeem Jeffries was asked about it and answered in a way that made no sense. If you understand what he's trying to say here, please explain it to me, because I don't get this.
I want to ask about California Governor Gavin Newsom's comments saying that Democrats were in the wrong for allowing transgender athletes to compete in female and girls sports. What is your response to that after Democrats had opposed the women and girls in sports?
I haven't seen his comments. What Democrats opposed was unleashing sexual predators on girls throughout the United States of America.
What?
I have no idea what he's saying.
Okay, so
He's
it's not
saying-
just me.
I think I guess I could surmise that he's saying that we believe that having men in women's sports and invading women's spaces equates to sexual predators in their spaces, which I do. I think that there are some weirdos that are going to be in their spaces, and I don't want dicks flying around in my daughter's locker room. I just don't. I don't want that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want that. Neither does my husband. So don't want that happening. So he says that I think he's saying that we equate that with it. I do.
Yeah.
Especially 15, 16, 17 to 20-year-old girls. They don't need to be having that in their locker rooms. And for some reason, I think he doesn't equate men in women's spaces as that. They don't. Well, we do. You know why? Because we're the party of normal.
Right. I mean,
they're not.
Nothing about the way that he worded that made any sense at all.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah. In the interview, just because we're not obviously showing the entire thing, other things that Gavin moved center on was he talked about how dumb it was to try to defund police. He talked about how dumb it was to, hyper focus on pronouns and gender neutral terms like Latinx. He talked about how there was some serious problems with BLM. There were a lot of issues that he moved center on. And as this person tweeted, he said, Gavin Newsom tells Charlie Kirk he's against trans women and girls sports. He denounces Latinx, admits BLM is corrupt, and calls defunding the police lunacy. This is Republicans' greatest nightmare. And I completely agree. I think he's going to be the toughest person to beat in the next go around. I think people believe that guy.
I think we'll be okay, especially because I think we're going to have a really good track record. And then if we have somebody like a JD or a DeSantis or both, God willing, or we've got a really good bench, and that guy's a piece of crap. And I think, I want to have faith in at least half of the country, or a little bit more than half. And stuff that we've seen with independents are tending to lean towards normalcy and not towards the batshittery. And so I'm just hoping and praying that because he's going to get a lot of stuff done over the next 3.5 years, let's hope that Gavin, the Ted Bundy dude, is not going to be able to con people,
I hope so.
I hope so too. Yeah.
DJ Daniel is continuing to be an absolute delight in all of the talk show appearances that he's making. He was on with that guy. We've been on his show before. Leland Vitters.
Leland with the hair.
Yes, with the hair.
Yeah, he's got good hair.
He was on with him, and I'm not even going to set this up because just watch.
Yeah, you think your friends are going to be jealous?
Pretty much, and I'm pretty sure my girlfriend gonna be jealous. Cause she ain't gonna be. I say you can't. I'm gonna be like you gonna have to hit the road jacks because I'm a Secret Service now. I'm not. And if you touch me, you going to juvenile straight out. And
oh wait a minute.
For nothing, I'm sending you straight to jail.
He's 13. He's talking about his girlfriend. I swear he looks like he has like a mortgage and like 4 kids, doesn't he?
I know, right? He already
really
looks so
does.
exhausted by life.
I know. He's like, I got all sorts of problems. My wife, my 4 kids, my mortgage. I got a boat. My credit score is 800. He's got problems, y'all.
I love him so much. I actually wasted 40 minutes of my life yesterday.
Really?
I don't know what sucked me into this, but I did watch the entire episode of Sam Bankman-Fried on Tucker.
Wow.
I don't know why. I got sucked in and then I couldn't stop listening. And so it was interesting because you always do wonder, I think there's some curiosity, natural curiosity that humans have when someone who is essentially a millionaire a million times over, I mean, legally or illegally, he enjoyed the good life, right? And now all of a sudden he's rotting away in a 25-year prison sentence. And I was curious as to how he is adapting to that.
You're such a psychology major. You love
I
this
am.
stuff. Mhm.
I do. I couldn't help it. So it's the reason for my name today. And there was this moment where Tucker asked him if he had run into Diddy because they are in the same prison. So here is what he said about running into.
Are you hanging with Diddy? I think he's in there with you.
He is. And I don't know, he's been kind. I've made some friends. It's a weird environment. It's sort of a combination of a few other high profile cases and then a lot of, ex-gangsters or sort of, alleged ex-gangsters.
Definitely alleged. So what's Diddy like?
Obviously I've only seen one piece of him, which is, Diddy in prison. And, he's been kind to people in the unit. He's been kind to me. It's also, it's a position no one wants to be in. Obviously he doesn't, I don't, as you said, it's kind of a soul crushing place for the world in general.
Oh, I'm sure. And you're two of the most famous prisoners in the world in the same unit. What do the armed robbers think?
Well, it's a really interesting question. And of course, some of them are, I think are thinking like, wow, this is sort of a big opportunity, to meet people they wouldn't otherwise get to meet, which is, it shocked me the first time I heard that. Right. It makes sense from their perspective, but boy, is that not how I think about prison.
How many years is he serving?
He's 2 years into a 25-year sentence.
Wow. And he's how old? He's is he in his 20s, 30s?
He's like in his 30s. Because Tucker actually asked him, so how old are you going to be when you get out? And he's going to be 57, something like that.
Wow.
And Tucker said, can you handle that? Can you do that? And he kind of was just I don't know.
Wow. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I cannot. That's why I was so sucked in. I had to hear what that was like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah. We've got some crazy people to share with you, which
Yay.
this is the stuff I wanted to get to yesterday. We ran out of time, but we do have a little time today. And one of the people, this woman, to our discussion earlier when we were talking about how it drives us crazy to hear other people chew.
Yes.
This woman is not chewing, but she is actively trying to clean food out of her teeth while she's talking. And it is so gross. And she is talking about an idea that she has about a way that the left can protest. Here she is to explain.
Of protests you have right now that you can start immediately.
Oh my God, stop it.
Put a mask back on.
Oh my God.
Stop letting them observe your face and have the side benefit of better health.
Really?
And protecting the rest of us in the world.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Put a mask
Why
back
is she
on.
doing that?
Oh my
Why?
God.
She should put a mask back on and stop doing that.
Nobody wants to see her face. So yes, win-win. It's a win-win for everybody.
Why is she doing that?
I don't know. It was so nasty.
Everybody just became menopausal. Everybody. God, lady.
So gross.
Mhm.
Okay, this next one, I cut the music out so it's silent, but there are some crazy people. So there are also crazy liberals who are super aligned with Ukraine and they want to show it in various ways. This person in particular wants to show it by making herself look exactly like Zelensky. It's talent. I mean, I will say it is incredibly skillful, but ew. She's really doing the whole thing.
Oh my God, she's shaving her head. Why is she doing this? I'm not crying with him. You think he's crying? That dude is laughing all the way to the bank. Are you kidding? There's no crying.
Oh my God, this is so
disturbing.
Disturbing is right.
She's using eyeliner on her nostrils, you guys.
I mean, the makeup, the artistry, I will say, is amazing. This person obviously has a command of makeup artistry. Because wow. At the end, it looks like Zelensky. I mean,
oh my gosh.
that's amazing, right?
With a USMC shirt, seriously.
Oh my God.
Make it stop.
Okay. Also, we've played videos from liberals previously who are just like white women in particular who believe that their opinions no longer matter when they are in the presence of a Black woman. And this is another example of that. This woman made a video to show what she does when Black women are speaking. Here she is.
Oh my God.
Seriously. It's so embarrassing.
It's a mental illness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an illness.
Go
For
seek
real.
help, lady.
It's just it's so gross. Man on the street asking liberals how they would change the Constitution, and their answers were fairly predictable. Take a listen.
Change the Constitution in one way. How would you change it?
Perverse gov major.
Georgetown University. I was literally going to say legalize abortion. Maybe abortion laws, rights to abortion, like transgender rights to have surgery, without necessarily parental consent. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but that doesn't mean you have a right to sit there and scream at someone because they choose to change their gender or they love the same sex, things like that.
So should we add trans rights to the Constitution?
Absolutely. Definitely adding in policies that make healthcare more accessible for immigrants as well as people in low-income communities. I just think we need to get the old white fucks out of power, but that's not really a constitution issue.
God, these people are
these are the people that are going to be like, Gavin, oh my God, he's so hot.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. They're pretty stupid. And then one of them is majoring in government.
Yeah.
What are they teaching her? Where does she go? She probably goes to Harvard.
Probably so. Anna Kasparian continues on her journey of becoming more and more reasonable.
We gotta
and
get her on our show. We just need to get her on our show and to just suck her in completely.
I don't know, man. She's been on some highly influential shows and she's still not all the way there. You know what I mean?
We're not highly influential. I just think she'd like us.
I mean, we are very irresistible.
We're very charming.
Well, she was
know us.
I think she was mad. She made this. She was talking about that ridiculous video where it was 24 different Senate Democrats saying the exact same script that Cory Booker wrote for them.
Right.
And she was absolutely mortified about it, just as much as we were, frankly. Here she is.
Sense who says Democrats really think it makes them look good when 20 plus of them release the exact same attack video. Who told them this was a good idea? Can any of them think for themselves anymore? That is look, I saw that video myself. It was pathetic. Every time I see what Democrats are up to, I die inside a little bit more. It's just so, what it communicates to us is that they don't care, right? That they're not passionate about these issues, that they're not invested in fighting for what's right. That it's just about, let me do this video. Let me put this message out there just to ensure that I'm going to get reelected, right? They're doing it for themselves. It's part of their own personal PR campaign. And that really bothers me. Because if someone gave me a script and told me, hey, read this, and you don't have to think about it. Just read this because you're fighting for Social Security or you're fighting for some social safety net. I don't need a script. I don't need a script. I have my own thoughts, my own views. I'm going to go ahead and say it like I feel it, say it like I know it, and not have to have someone hand me a script for it. But this is the thing. This is the problem with the Democrats right now. They're so out of touch with their own base. They're so out of touch. They have no idea what people are experiencing on the ground right now. They'll pay lip service to some of these issues, but do they really feel it? Are they really passionate about it? That's the real question.
Gavin needs to get her on his show.
Ooh,
I'd like to see
she
Gavin.
would love that.
I'd love to see her talk to Gavin.
Yes.
Give him a what for and watch him try to flirt with her.
because she is constant. She lives there and has so many complaints about California.
Mhm.
I would love to see that.
Me too.
I would love to see it.
I would really like
Oh,
to
that's a
see
great
that.
idea.
I would love to see that interview or
Mhm.
back and forth.
Stephen A. Smith, also another person with whom I rarely agree on anything, but he also called out Democrats hard for that ridiculous video. Here he is.
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? See what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people? All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons? Seriously, you don't get it? Oh, you did. Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer. Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power. You wonder why Trump is in the White House.
He's like the Democrats' answer to Mark Levin. He's so screamy.
Yeah, he's very screamy. He gets
screamy.
very, very screamy.
Yeah, he gets a little screamy. But when I see him say stuff like that, I'm like, okay, but are you happy with the stuff that Trump is doing? Why do you want to be a Democrat still? After all the stuff that they've done, like not for you and to you, and just they've disrespected their constituents so much. Why are you still a Democrat? Why are these people still Democrats? Are you going to continue to take a beating? Like, why do you let them abuse you so much? I don't get it.
It's a great question. And a lot of people I saw this morning were posting this interaction that happened between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James, I'm assuming, like within the last couple days. And LeBron's mad at him. And I don't know why, but check this out. Ooh, he walked right away from him.
Well, he dared to say something about, was it Serena Williams who was at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Doing the dance, doing the Kendrick, whatever dance. He dared to say something about, he was like, no wife of mine would ever do that. And so he had a big fight between Serena Williams, her husband. I can't remember his name. He's like some he's some big mogul.
Like tech bro, right?
He's a big tech bro. Yeah. And so he got in a big fight with her husband about that. And I don't think Stephen Smith has ever been married, but he's like, no wife of mine would ever do that, blah. And so they got in a big fight. And I think a lot of people are mad that he is daring to speak against the Democrat Party. You know, you just can't do that, right? So I think that's part of the dynamic here. I don't know if it's all of it, that he may have beef with him about something personal too, but I think that's part of it.
Interesting. And then lastly, before we get to talks, you probably have seen, well, I think everybody has seen Candace Owens sort of become very anti-Israel over the last few months. You know, that is the primary reason I suspect that she's no longer at the Daily Wire. There were obviously
anti-Semitic.
the falling out between Ben Shapiro and all of that stuff. And she's been on a tear about it ever since. And there's another fellow who is named Ian Carroll, who is similar, like-minded when it comes to Israel with Candace Owens. And he was platformed this week by Joe Rogan. And it has a lot of people very concerned about the creep, right? The anti-Semitism creep that's happening when some of these loud, prominent voices get platformed and don't get pushback. Because I have no problem with them saying whatever they want to say, obviously. But when there's no pushback or questioning, it becomes a problem. And so Ian Carroll, again, was on Joe Rogan, and our friend Ami Kozak recapped what Ian Carroll said and the problem that's happening with this rise in anti-Semitism. And no one puts it like Ami. He's just so good at breaking this down. Here he is
saying that all Jews are in on something. Jeffrey Epstein was the world's most prolific and evil sex trafficker that we know of so far, ever. And he very clearly was a Jewish organization of Jewish people working on behalf of Israel and other groups. And so that's a dark stain on Israel and on the Jewish people if you own it.
There you go. And I'm not implicating all Jews. That is a dark stain on the Jewish people if you own it. The way he sneaks in his falsehoods and sophistry and jumping to conclusions and connecting things is much more sneaky than just making one singular false statement or claim. He's like, and these people deeply corrupted are just like there for all time. There for all time. The Jewish faith. He doesn't know what the Jewish faith is or anything much about it. And then Jeffrey Epstein, a stain on the Jewish community. You have to fix that. You have to own it. Other types of conspiratorial conversations, the Clintons, Pizzagate, the corruption of this government or that. Nobody's talking about the Hillary Clinton scandal in the context of Baptists.
So true.
Because she's a Baptist. Her nationality, ethnicity, community doesn't come up. But for some reason, when we talk about a bad apple, a bad person like Jeffrey Epstein or Madoff or whoever, there's always this temptation in these conversations with conspiracy to implicate the Jews. And I'm not talking about all of them, but then talking about all of them, we're talking about something bigger than the individual bad actors and nefarious people involved. It gets so disturbing. It starts to just sow this suspicion in people. And had there never been a Holocaust or pogroms or deep-seated histories of anti-Semitism leading to violence against Jews, you might be able to shrug it off. But you're just like, the antennas go up. The cycle of history of anti-Semitism. Like, do you know what you sound like? It's like literally an echo of history.
He's right.
I love him.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway, okay, on to my Pillow Toks. We've got a few today, including, you know, those weird cats that I've been showing you a lot of lately with the giant ears, like the crazy with the giant. So, and you know that crazy sound that you recently learned cats make when they see a bird or where they hear an interesting sound, they'll go,
yeah.
So it's combo of the crazy eared cats and them making the sounds, and it ends up looking like this.
Oh my God, I love them.
I knew you would
them.
love them so much.
I
knew
need
you would.
all of them in my house.
They are so funny.
They're cute.
And then I want a dog who knows how to cuddle like this.
Hey, Justice.
He's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Oh yeah.
That was an intense fall.
Oh my gosh.
Here come the questions. What's up?
When we see a car outside, we need to
go run it.
Am I frozen? Did I freeze?
You froze for a second. You're back.
I can't get rid of it. Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze for a second. You're back.
Okay. Let me just start that video over then, because I don't even know if you guys saw it. But the next one is with Rockstar and doing a voiceover. And he's so good. There's nobody better than Rockstar. All right, here is that.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, here come the questions. What's up?
When we see a car outside, we need to
go run after that sucker.
We sit.
That's what you do, not me.
You know what else we do?
Chase the pedestrians.
We heal.
Like in therapy?
Yeah.
That's kind of whack, but okay.
You do it next time?
I will not chase people or cars, mama.
Promise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love him. Rockstar is just utter perfection.
Perfect. Yeah, no one does it like him.
No
one.
Nobody. Mm-mm.
Absolutely nobody. Okay, just a couple more. One is without sound, because again, it was just music in the background, but it's basically 17 dogs who are shown before and after they were told that they were a good boy or a good girl. And their faces just change into delight every time. And it is so sweet. Look at all their faces.
The greatest.
They're just so darling.
Oh my gosh. He had no eye.
I know.
So
it's a total
looks like Theo. Oh my God, a
so
Pyrenees. I
precious.
love Pyrenees. Oh, it's a Dane. Look at Shaggy.
Isn't it the sweetest?
You guys,
I
it's like
love
I
that
have
his
to
name
do
is
that with-
Perky.
I have to do that with all my dogs. How fun is that?
I love that so much.
Mhm.
And then lastly, This is just one of those videos that makes you feel good about the potential of our youth and humanity. It's a little boy, not that little, but a young boy who is going up to a Ring doorbell to confess to a, not crime, but like to a mishap, and just wanted the owners of this house to know. And this is just the perfect example of kids being honest. You just gotta love it.
Hey, I was playing soccer with my friend over there. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be recording or if you guys are gonna see it. But like the truck, my dad has the same one, like where you get out and where the foot thing is, so like you can jump off of the truck and get out safely. Yeah, the ball hit right there. It hit like right on that, but like the one on the other side, and it set off the alarm for a bit. And I just want to apologize for that. I don't know if anybody's home or if they're sleeping, but I just want to apologize for that.
Oh my God, I love him.
I know. Isn't
you
that
guys,
the cutest?
make more of him. I love him.
Oh my God, so cute. So cute.
Bless that little kid.
I know. All right, now we got some thank yous. Over on Locals, Audrey Kraus 5 says, good morning, chicks. Daisy, have the best time with Gwen next week. Time goes by way too fast with your kids. Soak up the memories you will be making with her. Have the best weekend and week. Happy Friday. That was so nice.
Thank you.
And Working Stiff says, good morning, chicks. Daisy, have fun on spring break. We will miss you, but I will watch to support Mock. Thank you. Thank God we have the greatest VP, JD Vance. Some might fall for slimy Newsom, but we have all the balls and truth on our side. God bless Trump and our administration. Have a great weekend, everybody. Now you.
Thank you. Now me. Okay. Timothy Ham. Good morning, ladies. Today is the big 6-0 for me. And one of my wishes is to meet two of the top 15 hottest conservative ladies on the planet, Mock and Daisy, at CPAC in Dallas next year. Please make it happen. We may do CPAC next year. I don't know. It could happen. Weirder things have happened. We've been twice before. Aaron Krieger, feels like a good day to tell you jerks how much I love you and how grateful I am to be part of this incredible community you've built. Thanks for all you do. P.S. It's Aaron Powers. I just finally changed to my married name. Yay,
oh my gosh. Well, now she's going to have to say if it's Krieger or Krieger or Krager, because we don't know how to say it.
Thank you for that. I love that. Aaron Krieger. I love it. Michelle Boyd. Good morning, Mock and Daisy. Just love you ladies. I cannot get over all the winning, and I love our fighters. We do too. Aaron Erm. The more Russia, Russia, Russia the left screams, the more easily DJT could switch to working for Russia because no one would believe it by now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Karen Pyra. President Trump ended congestion on pricing that the New York governor was shoving down the throats of commuters going into New York City. Working for the people. Yes.
Yep.
Susan T, any updates on the liberal clowns blackout last Friday? It backfired.
I completely forgot. Did it? So was it like a really big sales day?
Yeah, they did really well. In fact, I did a one-on-one with Zach from Bulwark this past Monday when you were out, and we talked about that, and it backfired. There are lots of articles out there about how it was a big spending day. It was a big
my gosh!
day.
So you guys have to listen to that conversation. It comes out tomorrow.
Yep. Heather Malloy. Remember that movie Liar Liar with Jim Carrey? His son makes a birthday wish that he couldn't lie for one whole day. Wouldn't that be awesome if politicians couldn't lie for one whole day? Gavin wouldn't leave his house.
I love that movie so much.
I do too. It was a great movie. Sherry Fox, Daisy, some money for your girl trip. Have a blessed week with Gwen. Thank you. I'll miss you guys. I really will. But we are looking forward to just spending some quality time together. I'm very excited about it. It's not often that we get time off, like her too. She's constantly working, I think, even harder than I do. Rachel Gerhardt, did anyone catch that? It's an attack on this government that almost elected a Black woman. He said the quiet part out loud. Love you, chicks. Take my money. Thank you, Rachel.
It's not quiet. They're not quiet about it. They're so loud and proud and dumb about it. I just can't believe it.
They are. Teresa Raimundo, I am Catholic, not commie. This is a pander to try and prove that they hate Christians, but wait until they're standing outside on abortion from an abortion clinic. Even Guamanians were laughing at Hank.
It's so
pretty
stupid.
funny. Teresa Raimundo, I meant they are trying to prove they don't hate Christians, but they do. They do. Yes. Florida Medicare broker, thank you for that super sticker. Giles Chester, Gavin does that because he's limp-wristed. He's flirting and And he's doing this all the time. You guys, it's just like Karen Pyra. Newscomb will ruin the country as president as he has ruined California. Where was the water, Newscomb? I just can't even believe that anyone would consider him after what a disaster he's been in California.
I know.
Look at job performance, you morons. Stevie J. Gavin started his own podcast because every time he did another podcast, they roasted him. See Adam Carolla. True.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But I feel like, Charlie Kirk kind of did a little bit of that. So the more he has conservatives on, the more I think he's going to get roasted on his own show. Kristen H. Newsom is absolutely the guy who love bombs you, cheats on you, calls you crazy when you have proof, and then tries to take you to Sandals Cancun.
It's so true.
Yes,
God,
Kristen.
it's so true.
That guy. Craig A, thank you for that super sticker. BTK, media omits there are tariffs on us now and costs us. Yes. Karen Pyra, you need to get Jonathan Rumi on your show.
I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is?
I don't know. We probably need to look him up. We need to look him up. We'll totally do that. You guys bring it in. Hold on. I'm losing my earpiece. Hold on. We're bringing it in. You guys have a fantastic weekend and a great week with Mock and Chat. I'm going to miss you terribly. Make sure you're checking out Locals and Insiders for content from me and Gwen on the road in Florida. And you guys will talk. I'll talk to you in a week. Mock will talk to you on Monday. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.